Greetings, it's Saturday night, and you know what? Last night I did something I haven't done in a long time. I watched Smackdown! Yeah, I actually watched Smackdown. And you know, I might watch it again. I haven't quite decided yet. That may happen in the near future, it may not, who knows. But real quick, I want to personally wish you a Merry Christmas. Anyway, I want to wish you all a happy 316. And I got something special for you that I recorded earlier on tonight that someone else wanted to wish you a happy 316. So, I'm going to post that as soon as I get through with this video. We went to Applebee's tonight. Applebee's is amazing. Oh my god, Applebee's is awesome. And I'll tell you right now, the food is incredible. I love the fact that I actually have a restaurant that I can have Diet Mountain Dew on tap. It's amazing. But anyway, so I got some more hours for tomorrow, so that's always good. And tomorrow night, of course, will be Celebrity Apprentice. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Celebrity Apprentice because there is a tease of a really dynamite-ridden boardroom. Basically, something really big is supposed to happen. Someone is going to walk off The Apprentice tomorrow, so who knows what's going to happen with that. Apparently, project managers look to be LaToya Jackson and Stephen Baldwin, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that materializes. But I'm going to do that, and of course, tomorrow we're going to talk AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews. We're going to be reviewing two of the newer movies that you probably have never heard of, and the two that you probably do know of that just debuted this Friday, The Call and The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. And before I talk about those movies, and I will talk about those slightly, I'm going to mention real quick, have you seen, that's all I'm going to say is just two things. Number one, if you've seen the trailer for The Call, you've seen the movie, and I waited a year for Burt Wonderstone, and oh my god, I hate to say it was a letdown, it really was. Like I was talking to a customer today, and I think it might have been Robbie, to be totally honest. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I was talking to someone today, and I brought up the fact that maybe I'm a little jaded, or maybe I just don't laugh at the things I used to laugh at a long time ago, because I don't have as much patience as I used to, and I don't laugh at the things I used to. So there's probably a time back in the day that certain movies would have made me laugh my head off, but it was not this time, and that's a shame because I really wanted to like Burt Wonderstone, and I couldn't. I love the magic aspects, that was phenomenal, but everybody was trying, but the script was terrible, so you know what, if we could rewrite the script and redo the movie again, I would do that, and I think it'd be a good idea. But let's talk SmackDown, and SmackDown was taped Tuesday night, and I do not know the location it was taped because it's not listed. So we're just going to go ahead and say it was taped Tuesday night. And of course this aired last night. And we started off the show with Brad Maddox is going to join Michael Cole and Josh Matthews on commentary. So that's awesome because we hear Bane Maddox for the rest of the evening. And that's great. We kicked off the show with a rematch with the Rhodes Scholars against Sheamus and Randy Orton, who are now being called the Celtic Vipers. That's not going to last too much longer when Randy Orton turns on him, and I think it might happen at WrestleMania. But you're probably expecting that anyway. So, basically, we come back from commercial break, and we're going to do it the same way we do Raw, the same way we do Impact, and the same way we do the pay-per-views. We're going to do, right back from the commercial break, we're going to talk about the finish of the match, and I'm going to give you my opinions of it. So we get back, and the Rhodes Scholars have isolated Sheamus in the corner. So Sandow locks in an overhead sleeper hold, and Sheamus scurries to the empty corner for the rope break. And basically, Sandow's the last several weeks has been very aggressive. And that's a good thing, because he's not been what he was in the past, and he's a lot more aggressive. You can definitely tell that he cares a lot more, and I like Sandow. I think he's amazing. But I really wish they'd do something with him. And I don't mean team him with Cody Rhodes, Mustachio and the Beard, as I like to call the Rhodes Scholars. But when it comes down to it, I mean, you could do so much more with both of these guys, and I don't mean in a tag team. I don't think Sheamus and Randy Orton should be a tag team either, but I understand what this is, because this is all building towards when they turn on each other, and Randy Orton finally turns heel, and we get Sheamus and Randy Orton, probably at SummerSlam, if I had to guess. But, I'll get back to the finish here. So, we get a hot tag, Orton gets in, and clothesline, duck the clothesline, Samoa Joe power slam, you know, the normal vintage Randy Orton. And he's hitting the exploder that he likes to hit now. I still don't get the point of him doing the exploder suplex, or the T-bone suplex, depending on what you want to call it. But I think he's a little too tall for this move, to be totally honest. Kurt Angle can make it work, and obviously Taz can make it work. I really don't see that from Randy Orton or why he does it, but who knows. Basically, he hits his snakebite DDT, and Sandow comes in to make the save, and when he goes to make the save, Sheamus delivers the Brogue Kick and basically knocks him down and out. Cody and Randy are all alone, and RKO out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, and we get a 5-minute match to start the show, and then here comes the Shield. Well, or so we thought. The Shield's music started, and Orton and Sheamus are ready to fight. They're ready to destroy the Shield because they know they're coming. And basically their Tron comes up. Randy, Sheamus, relax. You don't have to be afraid, says Dean Ambrose. He says that the ring Randy and Sheamus are standing in is his. And basically they talk about how they've destroyed everyone in their path. They even beat down Cena and The Rock. I mean, come on. The Shield have been unstoppable. Rollins says the biggest injustice is the fact they don't have a match at WrestleMania. So they make a blind challenge to Randy Orton, Sheamus, and a partner of their choosing. Sheamus and Randy say, okay, we're down, and we have officially booked another WrestleMania match. Now we have to figure out who the last person is going to be. So we'll find out later in the night, and I hope they don't stick with this, obviously, because I don't agree with who they pick. But then again, it's not just bias, it's the fact that it doesn't make any sense. Well, it does make sense, but it doesn't make sense because there's something that makes a whole lot more sense than this one does. Wow. Try to wrap your head around that one. So we get our card for the evening. Like I mentioned on the Raw recap, we get our first official meeting between Ryback and Mark Henry, and that's going to happen at SmackDown. Not WrestleMania, SmackDown. And we're going to get Chris Jericho against Jack Swagger as your main event for the evening. That's interesting. So we get a recap. Of course, the Raw Rebound has to be a part of this show. We showed Lesnar destroying the New Age Outlaws, and Paul Heyman accepting Triple H's challenge for WrestleMania, only if Brock Lesnar picks the stipulation himself. So we could see maybe there's rumors right now that they're talking Hell in a Cell, which could happen, and they're talking an MMA style match. Now, a lot of people brought up the old Lion's Den from 1998. You know, the Ken Shamrock Owen Hart match. Basically bringing up that to use as the stipulation for the match. But if you use an MMA style match, Lesnar has to win in rather decisive fashion, because otherwise it just looks bad. To have a former UFC world champion get defeated by Triple H. Not to say Triple H can't fight, because obviously we know he can, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't make sense business-wise for the UFC guy to lose to Triple H, who has no mixed martial arts background whatsoever. So, Hell in a Cell, Triple H wins? Unfortunately, probably. I say it makes more sense for Lesnar to win and be extremely dominant to the point that knocks Triple H back into his COO spot and off television, but I have no problem with Triple H being back on TV again because I enjoy Triple H overall, and I think this match is going to be awesome regardless, because everything that was built up with the blood that was shed on Raw, all the way up to these really intense promos, I think it's going to be a good match, and I think it's going to be really well done. I think it's going to be better than the last one, so I'd shoot for Lesnar to win if it's an MMA-style match. If it's Hell in a Cell, probably Triple H, but we'll find out sooner rather than later. So Randy Orton and Sheamus are backstage, and the Big Show walks up to them. And this is obviously what I want, because this is what everyone is reporting is going to happen. Show says it would appear that they need a partner. So, pretty much, he's going to give himself as the partner to go after the Shield, which makes total sense in what everyone's talking about being the match for Mania. But Sheamus says they already have a partner. And yay, it's Ryback. So, that makes no sense. It makes sense, but like I said, there's something that makes a whole lot more sense, but we'll get to that later on. We actually get a Divas tag team match with Oksana and Tamina Snuka against Layla and Kaitlyn, which of course is the Divas champion. Now, no need to go to a finish on this match because Tamina and Layla start us off. So Tamina shoves her off, and a neck snap against the bottom rope and the ring post by Layla. Layla delivers the Irish whip, and a reversal into a toe kick to the face, followed by a stiff short arm clothesline for only a 2 count. Roxana's in, and she Irish whips Caitlyn into the corner, tags in again, and of course Michael Cole has to reiterate the fact that the Bellas returned on Raw, so that's always a good thing. And I think we're going to get the Bellas against the Funkadactyls somewhere sooner than later. It might even be a main event at this point, honestly, because that seems to be where they have a lot of the Divas action is on main event nowadays. And I don't have the Ion channel, so I can't watch main events, so it doesn't really matter. But I think they might actually do something with them on SmackDown, but I'm getting ahead of myself, because obviously we're going to talk about that in the next segment. So, pretty much, Oksana goes for a quick roll-up, and only gets a 2 count, and the Funkadactyls are watching on, foreshadowing. So, Kaitlyn and Oksana are in, and nice lukewarm tag here, and Layla attacks from the apron, and Kaitlyn basically hits a shoulder block on Oksana, hits a reverse neck breaker, and Tamina is chatting her up on the ring apron, and of course she's saying some rather vile things, obviously, because she gets shoved off her partner into her and knocked off the ring apron. Layla gets in, she hits the crossbody with the lateral press for the victory. Basically, she hit the turnaround, the 180 crossbody, and got the 3 count, so Layla wins for the team. So we see the Bella Twins and the Funkadactyls backstage, and they're jawing with each other. And I think this is going to be interesting at this point, and I think it's going to work really well. So we get to commercial break, and after we come back from commercial break, we had the recap video with The Undertaker and CM Punk. And I'll tell you right now, if you had any idea that this match was not going to be spectacular, then think again, because honestly, this is going to be the potential best match on WrestleMania. Due to the fact, it may not be the best wrestling match at WrestleMania, but I honestly believe that with all the heat you've got with Punk stealing the urn on Monday night and breaking up the tribute to William Moody, I really think that they have put the seeds down for the right storyline to make for this awesome match at WrestleMania. And I said there was not really 4 weeks to just build up this match out of nowhere, because you didn't know if Taker was going to work, and you didn't know what he was going to do, and you were thinking about putting Punk in a triple threat with Rock and Cena, but it didn't come to fruition because obviously Taker came back, and at Old School Raw, he started the build. Punk calling himself God actually probably helped with that as well. And I think for the next couple of weeks, obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania now, and it's going to be really interesting to see what comes in from there. Now, because of Punk's injury, his potential knee injury he had in the match against Kane on Monday Night Raw, Punk's not going to be wrestling on Raw this week. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of a promo to get him there, because I think The Undertaker's there. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there, but I don't know where you're going to go from here, because obviously Taker's not the one to speak first. So we're going to keep tuned in to figure out what's going to happen next. And up next, of course, we saw Kane. Kane just winning on Monday night, obviously, against CM Punk, cleanly in the center of the ring, thanks to The Undertaker's gong interference. And he's going to be facing off against Mr. Money in the Bank himself, the man who got a much-needed victory over Daniel Bryan on Raw. Dolph Ziggler, of course, with the really useless Big E Langston and the very beautiful AJ Lee in his corner. So basically, this is setting up what no one knew was going to happen, was the fact that the World Tag Team title match at WrestleMania is going to be Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston against Hell No. So we're not getting the New Age Out. We might still get the New Age Outlaws, but they're not going to be in some sort of a Fatal 4-Way or a 3-Way, or they're not going to be involved with the Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. I think it's going to happen somewhere down the road. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series, who knows. I think the Outlaws will get utilized, and we'll get a Tag Team title run before they hang up their trunks from now on. I didn't mean to say hang up their trunks, I meant to say hang up their boots, but that's another story altogether. So, basically, Kane corners Ziggler right out of the gate and hits some knees to the midsection. Kane stomps away at Ziggler. Kane showing more an aggressive streak, obviously because, storyline perspective, he just lost his father on Monday night, so needless to say, he's going to be a tad bit pissed off, especially what happened with CM Punk, obviously. So, basically, he hits the ropes, Kane delivers the big boot, stops Ziggler dead in his tracks, so he hits the scoop slam, and this time he gets back body dropped over the top rope, and once again Ziggler lands feet first on the ring apron. He climbs to the top, and hits a nice missile drop kick on Kane, only gets a 2 count. So, basically, Ziggler drops numerous elbows, like serious elbows, and he locks in his side headlock. Kane lifts him up, tosses him across the ring to escape the submission hold. And Ziggler hits his huge DDT out of nowhere, you know, the stalling DDT, the suplex position into a DDT that he's been hitting a lot lately. Only get a 2 count this time around. So Kane delivers a suplex of his own for 2, follows up with his clothesline and a sidewalk slam. So Dolph locks in his sleeper, and Kane powers out this time, delivering an uppercut to Ziggler while he's in midair. So Kane goes up top, hits his clothesline. AJ gets up on the ring apron for the distraction, and Daniel Bryan is keeping Big E Langston from interfering momentarily until Langston basically tosses him over the barricade that's over where Justin Roberts sits. And Kane nails him with the big boot to take him down. King rolls back in the ring, gets nailed with the name dropper. Once again, Ziggler, do not use Billy Gunn's finisher while he's in the company. Once again, I'm going to chide you for that. And he hits the zigzag, and a clean victory for clean victory for Dolph Ziggler over Kane. And we are once again still on the road to WrestleMania with Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston looking to face Hell No. Hasn't been announced yet, but I know it's going to happen really quickly. So Big E saved Dolph from a beatdown, and he destroys Kane. And we get a new parody video from this time again from Ricardo and Alberto. This one's about borders. So we're talking the Canadian border, given the fact, obviously, that Swagger's facing Chris Jericho tonight. And Canadians are smuggling maple syrup into America. And basically, they really need to do something with the storyline, because it's kind of failing miserably, to be totally honest. So Jericho jabs at Swagger verbally, and Swagger jabs back, obviously. And basically, that's the segment. We come back from commercial, and the Great Khali and the very underutilized Natalya Neidhart are in the ring. And they're dancing. So here comes, yep, you know it's going to be. It's going to be Johnny Curtis, of course. And all Khali has to do, is pronounce his name correctly. So we get to hear Khali pronounce Fandango. This is going to be funny. So not only can he not dance properly, he can't pronounce Fandango correctly. He says, "You are Fandango. I know you. You are Fandango." So Fandango breaks it down in syllables, bisyllables, and a nice little walkthrough of the pronunciation, and Khali just can't get it right. I love this Fandango character, I'm not gonna lie. I really do. I like what they're doing with it. And I hope it doesn't get shelved, and I hope it doesn't get forgotten. I think it's gold. And I think Johnny Curtis is gold. Because I don't know how hard it is. I mean, Justin Roberts can't do it. And Lillian Garcia can't do it. And Khali can't do it. And no, Sweet Tea can't do it. But how hard is it to say Fandango? Goldust could do it. Honestly, we know he can. Except if you broke into his Goldust Tourette's, and then he was like, Fandango. That's what you'd hear. That's exactly what you'd hear. And we don't want that to happen, obviously. But I don't mind having Goldust back on television. Even though I really want the match with him and Cody at Mania, but it's not going to happen. But then again, no disrespect to anyone. That's exactly how the storyline would go. But like I said, Fandango's really growing on me, and I really hope they don't drop the ball with him. Or don't even use him at all. So, we get back from commercial break again, and once again we see the same video package between The Rock and John Cena that we saw on Raw. And, you know, honestly, I don't want to hear it. I talked about it on Raw, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But after that, we go backstage, and Matt Striker announces Booker T has made it official. It's Sheamus, Orton, and Ryback against The Shield at WrestleMania. So Sheamus and Orton are standing by with Striker, and out of nowhere, Roman Reigns just gores him in half, basically, through the set. And then the Shield just jumps Randy Orton, so they both leave him playing, so that's awesome. And when we come back from our next commercial break, Ryback is checking on Sheamus and Orton. And Booker T tells Ryback he has the situation firmly in control. You need to get to the ring for your match, which is now. So basically, they stare down, and they lock up in the center of the ring. They're grappling, and all of a sudden, the Shield's music hits. And here comes the Shield. So they jump basically Henry Powders, because he's smart. And they jump Ryback, and Ryback finally gets the advantage, and his upper hand basically lets him clear the ring momentarily. So Mark Henry still wants some. He distracts Ryback so the Shield can jump him again. So they beat the daylights out of him once more as Mark Henry just watches on from the outside. We hit the triple powerbomb, and the crowd absolutely hates the Shield without any question. I love this momentum they're having. I love the Shield. I love Dean Ambrose, and I love Seth Rollins. And I don't really like Roman Reigns, but he's starting to slowly grow on me. So I've been a fan of Moxley and Black since the Indies, so I like seeing them getting used. Obviously, I've mentioned this every week, and I'm going to mention it again. I want to see Bray Wyatt, and I want to see Cassius Ohno in WWE. And I think that may happen because Wyatt's been working some darks lately. So hopefully he'll end up on television sooner rather than later again. Because he was on television before, and they took him off, and he got injured, and he was injured for quite a while, and now he's back with his brand new gimmick, and it's this Cape Fear gimmick that I love so much. And it's like I said, it's like a new version of Waylon Mercy, and I love it. And Ohno is just awesome, and I see that he's feuding with Regal now on NXT, so I'd love to see parts of that, so. Basically, after this, Mark Henry gets about halfway down the ramp, and he decides he's not done. So he picks up Ryback when he gets back in the ring, hits the world's strongest slam numerous times, and leaves him laying. That's what I do! I lay these jobbers out that don't deserve a push. Anyway, sorry, I hate Ryback, I'm sorry. I cannot get into them, it just doesn't work for me. You're going to have to sell me on Ryback, and I don't know if you can at this point, so hopefully you can. But, like I said, once again, we have Mark Henry laying out Ryback, so you set the seeds together for the match we want to see at Mania, Ryback and Mark Henry, and hopefully that works the Big Show into the 6-man, so we can do it that way. Because that's what we're supposed to see, and that's what I want to see, so I think that's what needs to happen. Won another nerd contest. Yay, we get to our main event! And we had 2 commercial breaks here. We'll get to the finish here. Swagger locks Jericho in a near fall when we come back from commercial break. So Swagger catches the kick, drops Jericho gut first on the canvas. Going for the gut-wrench powerbomb, Jericho bails, goes for the walls. Swagger escapes, locks in the Patriot lock in the center of the ring. Jericho reverses again, locked back into the walls. I like these counters, they're amazing. So Zeb Culture distracts Jericho momentarily, and the hold is dropped. So Jericho hits Swagger with the drop kick, sending him shoulder first into the steps on the outside. He follows up by rolling him back in the ring. Instead of going for a pin, he goes up top for the cross body and only gets a 2 count. Jericho makes it up to his feet. Swagger sends him face first in the middle of turnbuckle. Jericho goes for the code breaker. Swagger escapes, locks in the gut wrench powerbomb, and it's over. Nice match. Almost 17-minute main event between Jack Swagger and Chris Jericho. The match was awesome. And, honestly, I might have to start reviewing Smackdown on Saturdays because this was a decent show. I really wish I understand why, but I really wish they wouldn't have as much emphasis on Raw. This should be about just SmackDown and that's it. But I know that's only if the brand extension wasn't dead. I know it is. So, I don't really understand why we need a Raw recap on SmackDown if you're trying to do a brand extension. But if they're not, I understand. Because you need to focus on these storylines. You need to focus on the titles that are on your brand, even though we don't know at this point who's on what brand because they keep flip-flopping every week. Like, we know Antonio Cesaro is United States Champion. He's not even on the show. He's on Raw more than he is on SmackDown. And we also know that Alberto Del Rio is the World Heavyweight Champion, and he doesn't get a match on the show. He gets a promo, which is basically just a parody of these We the People Zeb promos that Coulter and Swagger have been doing on Raw every week, and obviously are doing on YouTube as well. So, interesting Raw, interesting SmackDown, really interesting Impact. It was actually a decent week for wrestling, and next week, I think I might do this again. I think we'll watch SmackDown again. I might have to watch it later, because we have 3 movies on Friday. We have Admission, and we have The Croods, and we have Olympus Has Fallen, so I won't be able to watch it live, but I'll be able to watch it when I get back, and that'll be your video. I think we're going to talk SmackDown on Saturdays from now on, so that may change, but at least for the foreseeable future, at least till we get to WrestleMania, we're going to watch as much WWE as we possibly can so we can prepare for the showcase for the Immortals, obviously, WrestleMania, which of course is going to be in Jersey this year. New York, New Jersey, depending on what you want to call it, so it's going to be awesome, and like I said, we're going to have a WrestleMania roundtable that day, the day of WrestleMania, April 7th. So we're going to look forward to that. Tomorrow we're going to talk AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews. Monday we're going to talk Celebrity Apprentice. Tuesday we're going to talk Raw. Wednesday and Thursday, as usual, are Clooney style, up in the air. And Friday we're going to talk Impact. Saturday we're going to talk Smackdown. Sunday we're going to talk more about AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews, because we're going to have 3 awesome ones. Possibly a 4th one, who knows, it might be more than that. We'll find out soon enough. And stay tuned, because there's something coming up in the next couple of months that's going to completely change a lot of these things and make stuff a lot more concrete and a lot more different around here. So, thank you for watching once again, and I'm going to get off here, and I'm going to have me a couple snacks, because I'm still hungry, because I just eat a lot, and that's how it works, apparently. And until tomorrow, that's all I got to say about that.